What is going on, everybody? We're back with another Million Dollars video. And in this video, I'm going to be going against 5 mistakes that I see new players make. The main reason I'm doing this is because I keep seeing one particular mistake over and over again. This mistake happens in almost all my videos, and I always tell you guys, don't do this mistake, don't do it. So that brought me to coming up with 5 things that I see a lot. You know, by no means these are the top 5 biggest mistakes or anything like that. It's just the top 5 mistakes that I see a lot, that I've been seeing a lot down here in bronze and in silver now. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first one is gonna be the one that I see the most, and it's the long marches. When you do a long attack. So for example, let's say I'm gonna use this city right here, and I want to send an attack all the way to this guy. Boom. That's 18 minutes. This gives this player right here 18 minutes to prepare himself to defend that attack. That's way more than enough time. Way more than enough time. And if we were to look anywhere nearby, so he has a few level. Oh, his home is actually right here. So your home is usually where you always have a good bit of your troops a lot of the time. So he only has to travel from there, from his home to here. 18 minutes is more than enough time for him to get there in time. But let's say his home wasn't there. So he has a few level 80s here. He for sure has troops in one of these 80s. Guarantee it. Let's just pick this one. We're gonna scout him. So he for sure has troops here. And one, or maybe not here, but in one of these 80s. That's way more than enough time for him to get to that 70 and defend it. 18 minutes is way too long. And even if he didn't have troops that close by, let's say his troops were 25 minutes away, he could always speed boost to it and get there in way more than enough time. 18 minutes is way too long. I don't recommend you guys doing an 18-minute march, because it will for sure get walled, or it would get defended against. And I see this a lot. I see people doing 10 to 20-minute marches on me, and I defend every time. I will always defend those, just as so that person can learn. Look at that, 30 million. So he for sure would have sent 30 million right there and defended my 58 million attack, because along with the city walls from a level 70 and his 30 million and then his guardian, it would all add up. He would definitely defend it. But yeah, every time I see a long march that's done to me, I will always defend against it, just so that the attacker, you know, can learn and be like, okay, these long attacks don't work. I shouldn't do these. Never do those long attacks. I even saw the other day a 27-minute attack that somebody did to one of my cities. You shouldn't do that. You should always, the general, well, at least for me, I like to keep it anywhere around 3 minutes. 3 minutes, anything above 3 minutes, I hesitate to make that attack. I think it over. I'll scope out that person. Make sure there's nothing, no troops have to be like nowhere near, and then maybe I would go past 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes 30 seconds, but not too far past 3 minutes. I like to keep it 3 minutes and under, because that doesn't give them that much time to prepare themselves. Yes, they can still wall you, still defend that attack, but it's less likely to happen than a 10-minute attack. 10-minute attack, they 9 out of 10 times it'll get walled. So yeah, never do long marches, long attacks. All right, now the other thing that I see a lot is the XP timer. All right, so let's see who has Oops, that's one of mine. We won't be able to find one, I don't think, anytime soon. Okay. So what the XP timer is, I wish I could find one so I can show you guys. I don't think I'll find one. Well, it doesn't look like I'm gonna find one. So underneath this little rectangular area where it shows their name, the city name, and the level, their little icon, it'll, oh, here it is. Or it's not underneath it, it's next to the level. So you see that it has the letters XP with a line through it. So that's the XP timer. So if you click on it, and then you see underneath that little, where it shows the little 3 people in the question mark, and it says 12 minutes. So that means that this city is not worth any XP for 12 minutes. Let me collect that. For 12 minutes. Don't attack those. I see people that as soon as I take their city, boom, they quickly, they'll go and try to take it back. Maybe like a minute later or 2 minutes later, they'll take it back, or try to take it back, depending whether I'm nearby to wall them or not. And yeah, you're not gonna get much XP out of there. The only XP that you will get out of there will be if they had troops in there or not. It's just the XP that you get from troops, and that's it. You're not gonna get the XP from the city. So yeah, don't attack cities that have an XP timer. Always go for the ones that don't have an XP timer. Boom, and then this will give me the XP. Try to focus. Your primary focus should be the ones that down here in this bottom right corner that says 200%. That's the highest that you can get. That should be your primary focus. Of course, 150 is still good. But never attack cities that still have a timer on it. So if you click on it, like if you're gonna attack, so you'll see right here that says XP in 10 minutes and 57 seconds. Yeah, don't attack those. You're not gonna get this XP from it. Okay. Let me look at my notes, because I wrote down the other ones. Okay. So another one is, so your skill points. Another mistake that I see new players do is they don't have their fearless maxed out. Always use your skill points, because in the beginning you're not going to have the gear to where your fearless will be maxed out at 75%. So always use your skill points to try to get it to max as soon as possible at 75%. That way you lose the least amount of troops. I do see people that attack me and their fearless are like at level 40 something. So they're losing out, let's say it's 40. They're losing 60% of their troops every time they attack. And I understand if you're not, again, if you're not high enough level to where you had enough skill points to put them on fearless to max them out. I understand that. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that are around my same level. I'm level 64 and still only have 40 points, 40% on their fearless. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Yeah, that should not happen. You should definitely always try to put your fearless at 75%, so that way you only lose 25% of your troops every time you attack. You don't want to lose that much troops. You want to keep your troop loss at a minimum. Alright. Same thing goes with your brave. You want to have it, if you're going to start defending attacks, you want to have your brave at 75%. If you, or at least pretty close to it. If not, then I do recommend just don't defend, because you're just going to lose too much troops. You should only defend when you have your brave at 75%. And I know right now mine's at 61%, so that's why I don't wall as much on this account. Plus this is my iPad. This account is on my iPad, and I don't take my iPad everywhere I go, so I don't play it as much. So that's why I don't worry about my brave too much. But if you do play this game a lot, on your account. Like on my main account, I have it on my phone. I always make sure my brave is at 75%, and I won't try to defend as many attacks as I can. So yeah, so brave is the same as fearless. Get it at 75 if you're gonna wall people. Defend against it. I say the word wall a lot because that's the correct term that is used, but I know some new players probably don't know what wall means. So wall means to defend against attacks. But yeah, definitely 75%. All right. So the other one is switching your gear set. So this doesn't go for people that have the Weapon Master Advisor. So on this account, I do have the Weapon Master Advisor, so that's why I have this extra tab right here, and that's why it looks like this. So it doesn't count toward me, but there is a lot of new players that don't have it. So you manually have to click on your defense gear and then close out, and that way it switches to your defense gear. If you're gonna attack, you have to manually switch to your attack gear. That way it uses your attack, your attack gear. So what I do see a lot is when I attack people, they sometimes have 0 guardian. That means that they weren't in their attack and their defense gear. So switching to your gear is super important. You want to be in your defensive gear. That way you can have some salvager. You can have your brave on, so you can keep 75% of your troops if your brave is at max. Your salvager, it'll give you gold. Your guardian, it'll help you defend. You're cautious. If you spent gold on that city, you'll get a certain percent of this gold spent back. That you want to be in your defensive stance when you're getting attacked. So that is the fourth mistake that I see pretty often, is that people aren't switching between their gears. The people that don't have Weapon Master, that is. And then number 5 is the way people are using their sapphires. And you may ask, how do you know how they're using their sapphire? Well, there's a way for me to know how if people are using their sapphires correctly or not. So I'm level 64. So I go and look at my gear, and I look at my stats, and then if I scout someone, let me scout this guy. Well, actually, let me scout the guy that's right next to me. Boom. What level is he? He's 65. He's 1 more level higher than me. Alright. So then now I look at the report. He has 57 Guardian, 64 Brave, 45 Salvager, and 5 Cautious. I just compare those stats with mine. I've been spending all my Sapphires on chess. That's all I've been spending it on. So if we have similar stats, then I know he's doing the same thing. But if my stats are better than his by a decent bit, and he's 1 level higher than me, but if let's say his stats, because his stats are pretty much the same as mine, let's say they were way less, that means he's using his sapphires for something else, and it's not gear or chess. So that's how I know that players are spending their sapphires on something else, most likely speed boost, because a lot of people tend to get impatient when they go to send an attack, some troops. Let's say I want to attack this guy, weapon X1, and so I need to bring my troops over here, and it's gonna take 11 minutes. I don't want to wait 11 minutes. Speed boost. There goes 25 sapphires. See, those you shouldn't spin your sapphires when you're a new player on speed boost, especially for something like that. 25 sapphires adds up. If you keep doing it over and over again, it adds up. You'll run out of sapphires. You won't be able to save up to buy chests. You should always save your sapphires for the 10 mighty chests. This is of course the best way to spend your sapphires would be for these, for the packs of 10s. But even the one mighty case or the one mighty chest, or jewel box and then chest, those are still good. You know, of course your best one would be the 10 mighty chests, for new players, you know, that are still working on getting their gear. Of course, eventually, you know, you'll want to spend it on gems whenever you're like in plat or diamond, if you're up to par with your gear. But right now, for new players, you're working on getting your gear. So that's where you want to spend your sapphires at. You don't want to spend it on speed boost. You don't want to spend it on your expedition so he can return faster to your base. You don't want to spend it so you can send an extra expedition. That's 800 sapphires there. You don't want to spend it on that. You don't want to spend it on your wounded troops. You don't want to do that. You don't. I'm pretty sure a lot of new players, that's where they spend it, as there and the wounded troops and in the speed boost. You don't want to do that. You want to save your sapphires so you can get to get your gear. That's where you want to spend it at. That way you can, you know, do better in the game. You'll end up getting better gear. You'll be faster. So then you won't have to wait the 11 minutes anymore, and you don't have to use the speed boost. You know, so yeah, definitely save your sapphires for the chest. Don't just waste them. That was 5, and I do want to mention one more. Don't get frustrated. Sometimes you don't do as like you want to place higher in ranks. I'm right now 153. I want to be in the top 50. I want to hurry up and get there. I can't let that frustrate me. You know, I don't have the gear compared to these guys up here in the top 50. But, you know, as long as I follow these tips, I'll do a lot better. As long as I don't do long marches, I wait for the XP timer. I use my skill points, you know, correctly on the fearless, on the brave, to make sure I don't lose that much troops. If I didn't have the weapon master, once it runs out, just switch between gears. That way I get, you know, don't lose out that much. Don't lose that much troops. I gain more gold. I can defend better, you know, by switching gear and saving my sapphires for chests. I'll move up on my gears to get better gear, and then I'll be able to rank higher, you know. That is my little top 5 mistakes that I see players do. Definitely try, if you do any one of these mistakes, definitely try to correct them, and I guarantee you it will help you. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and I shall see you guys later. Peace.